Hello friends, welcome if you're new or welcome back if you're returning to the channel. In this speed build, we'll be using this gorgeous house skin to create a castle lost in time. Inspired by the original story of Sleeping Beauty, we're going to create a castle build on the forgotten floating island that looks as if 100 years has passed. This ended up being a bit of a long build, so I've split it into two parts. In part 2, we'll be using the leafy cottage to create a magical little nook for the good fairy who has made it her mission to guard the sleeping castle. The idea to make this Sleeping Beauty's castle was partially inspired by my sweet bestie Kaywin, Cozy Elfheim on Instagram. She has Sleeping Beauty's castle using the castle walls in her Forgotten Lands, and it's gorgeous. You need to check her out for sure. Whether you're here for a cozy background video while you're working on your own valley, or whether you're looking for inspo, please consider liking and subscribing for more speed builds and tours, tips and tricks, and touch of magic tutorials. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. So let's start designing. We're going to place the castle walls from the premium shop alongside this castle skin to just kind of extend the castle. With the dark moss that grows on the castle walls and the dilapidated stone pieces, these castle walls are just a perfect fit for this house skin. And I want to make it so that the bulk of the castle house skin is featured prominently, so we're just going to kind of place the walls at the back of the house skin. Now we're going to use the crumbling looking pieces the most because again, we want to make it seem as if 100 years have passed. Bear with me as I make a few adjustments. I wanted to get this castle as far over into the corner as possible, so I actually ended up having to move these walls a couple of times just to get it into the right spot. This little arch is where I want to put Sleeping Beauty's bedroom, so we're going to add a little piece of broken stone behind this arch just to kind of add a little bit of a broken look to it. Now I'm going to use different crumbling castle pieces to just enclose the rest of the castle walls. And of course, for some strange reason, these pieces didn't match up. I'm guessing it's because of the size of the house skin, but since it's tucked away in this corner and we'll be covering it up with foliage, I'm just gonna go ahead and pretend that it matches up just fine and leave it as it is. Okay, now for the interior. We're going to create just a little nook for Aurora's bed. I want it to have some nice ambiance, so I'm going to have some purplish light spilling into this nook through these windows behind the bed. On the opposite side, we're going to put the spinning wheel, so I'm adding these Vitalis lanterns behind the windows so that the wheel will be backlit. And we can go ahead and do the same in all of the spots where there are open windows to the outside. I use the tables from the seasonal moonstone bundle because I liked the height, but honestly, any table about this height will work. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and add the spinning wheel here in this opening. I don't have the one from the Aurora quest yet, so I'm just going to use the one from the Tangled bundle. Now for the drawbridge. I used this same design in the Beauty and the Beast build, so again I'm going to be using my Wooden Touch of Magic rug, and then I'm going to place the short castle wall pieces on either side to create the look of a broken bridge. I'm going to go ahead and add Vitalis lanterns on either side, hiding them in the beach grass just to add some lighting ambiance. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some banners as well, just to add a little bit of visual interest against the Mossy castle walls. Now, because we have the river kit, we're going to make a moat around this castle. So I'm going to fill in the spaces closest to the castle with beach grass to create that nice overgrown look. Thankfully, the beach grass really matches nicely with the moss on the castle skin, but I just really wish that we had different types of grass to work with. The 3 types that we have just don't feel like enough. I feel like we need more. We need Storybook Vale ones. We need different ones to match each biome in the valley. I just want more grass. I'll add in a few butterfly flowers, and to add to that overgrown spellbound sort of look, we'll be adding these thorns throughout the build as well. And to make it look a bit more magical and whimsical, I'm going to add these pink toadstools. They really look great in the Forgotten Lands, and they add to the Fairytale vibe. Now it's time to add the river kit. The best thing to make the water look natural for this build is to use different pieces. Obviously, we'll be able to add water foliage to the open squares, but these squares with the rocks and lily pads, as well as the squares with the submerged logs, are great to intersperse throughout. Just be sure to rotate them so that there's not a look of uniformity. As you know, if you've worked with it in your own valley, placing this river kit takes a bit of time, so I'm just going to leave you with the lo-fi music while I place these pieces. Because I'm one of those people who gets easily distracted while I'm building, I'm taking a small detour to mess with the lighting and the foliage. Please tell me I'm not the only one who does this. Please tell me that you do it too. Okay, back to the river kit. Now we can get to work on the left side. Again, we'll add some beach grass and some mushrooms on this left side, and then I'll continue with the river kit. Okay, now that the moat is done, we can add a bit more foliage to this left side. I'm going to go in with some more beach grass, and then we can add some thorns on this side as well. And now we can add some foliage to the water. I love that this beach grass can go on the water. It's such an amazing feature. So I'm going to spread it throughout the whole moat to create a nice overgrown stagnant water look. Then of course we can add some of these gorgeous glowing lily pads. Another amazing thing about the river kit is that you can place rugs underneath it. So I'm going to use these leaf rugs from the Lion King collection to place throughout the moat, again to create a nice overgrown look. Now, to finish up the interior of our castle walls, we're going to be using different types of trees and root arches inside to make it look as if these trees have just kind of sprung up and slowly overtaken the castle over the decades. On the outside, we're going to use these smaller mossy arches to add to the thorny look. These root arches are so huge and their footprint is such a weird shape, so just please bear with me as I make a few adjustments to kind of shove this in here. I'm going to switch out this window and move it to the front here. That way I can put this tree in the back instead. Now we can go in and add some of these sinister furs. We'll use the 3 different sizes. They're really just the perfect color and the perfect look for this build. I love the way these trees clip into the castle walls. They add even more of a mossy look to the walls, so we're going to add one on each side to clip through the towers. It matches really well with the ivy that's crawling up the walls of the mossy castle house skin. Okay, we're gonna place the leafy cottage, but as I said, the design for that will come in part 2 of this build. For now, we'll be creating an overgrown statue garden using the statues from Storybook Vale Part 2 and this elegant gazebo, which I love for this build because it has the ivy climbing all over it. I really want this to feel overgrown, dilapidated, and completely forgotten, so I'm going to use a lot of beach grass here to just kind of envelop the statues and the fencing. I'm also going to add some bits of the castle wall behind just to create a kind of sanctuary in the statue garden that has fallen apart with time. I'll add some mossy arches around the sides and some thorns to add to the effect. And then I'm going to enclose this area with some more pieces of the wall. I thought it would be nice to add a water element, but this Beauty and the Beast fountain is just too tall. It's taking away from the statue in front of it. I'm just gonna do some trial and error with some pieces of the river kit. And it looks like the full pond will work. And then I can add a fountain tile and some lily pads underneath. Now for lighting, I'm just going to play with the placement of these Vitalis lanterns to see where they'll look best. I really thought I wanted to use these stone vine pieces, but the contrast with the castle walls just doesn't look as good as I thought it might, so I'm going to get rid of them. Okay, let's add some of these mushrooms and some butterfly flowers just to add some pops of color here. I will be creating a path from the front of the castle to this garden in part 2, but for now, we're just going to use these broken cobblestones here at the entrance of the garden. For the finishing touches, we're going to add a few more trees, and that's it for part 1 of this build. Thank you so much for watching this speed build. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please be sure to drop a like. It helps so much. Subscribers, your views and likes and comments are so appreciated. Members, thank you so much for being a part of the channel. Your support means everything to me. If you've enjoyed this video and haven't subscribed yet, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Thanks again, friends, and stay tuned for part 2.